Hi, welcome to this video. Playing a rapid game on Lichess. Let's see what we got. Very classical opening. A Gioco piano. Italian game, which works because I'm part Italian. Okay. A3. Trying to lose a tempo. I could take a second to think about this. I am now out of book. I don't think I've ever seen A3 in this position. I don't see how it could be good. I suppose just knight F6 looks fine. D6 should also be okay. Knight F6, B4, I move back, B5. He's attacking E5. A3 actually attacks E5 in a way. So let's play D6. Prevents the pin. Now I attack E4. And I'll prevent his pin. Not really too worried about that, but I'll stop it nonetheless. Threaten his bishop, which can actually go all the way back to A2. This is an interesting idea because sometimes black plays A6 in this type of structure. So here white is playing A3 to have the same ability to go back to A2, but he didn't take advantage of that. In fact, I rather like this. I have doubled E-pawns, but I have nice control over the center this way. It also opened up my F-file, so I can get at his king. Okay, let's get rid of these silly arrows. Okay. So, I have plenty of time to think here. This is about to get very boring, in a way. He's threatening to win my bishop on b6. He's going to take on b6 and have the advantage of a bishop. If I take on e3, the pawn structure is symmetrical, and the only advantage I have is the fact that his knight is temporarily off sides. Let's see, I could consider to take, he takes, then I play b5, knight goes back, b4, takes with the knight, and I don't know if that's actually good for me. Guess I could ask myself what the heck's the point. What would be the point of that position? If he takes, I take. And I'm going to try and attack b2. He'll just play b3. My a-pawn is potentially weak in that kind of a game. So, what else can I do? I could trade and then just not do anything. Nothing drastic, at least. Drastic. I could try and trade and play queen e8 to g6 with the idea of somehow attacking the king side. Maybe? Well, actually, that has the threat. No, there's no threat. But it might keep him tied up. I could always play rook b8 and b5, b4 later. So maybe I'll trade now, because I don't want to end up with an imbalance to the bishop. Maybe I should have gone for that, actually. But now let's play this. I'm threatening maybe some sort of discovery. Knight d4, perhaps. No, knight d4 doesn't work. He could just leave his knight there, right? Till I play knight e7, then he has to move it. Queen g6 is not even that interesting for me. Okay, so you move the... because then he has knight h4. Oh, but then I have queen here, which should be good. Again, he has f3 very well protected. So maybe this wasn't the best choice. Maybe I need to try and open up the queen side a little. Because now it's really not clear what I'm going to do. If I play queen g6, knight h4, queen h4, queen g3, he has to drop back with a knight. Yeah, I like that. So, relatively symmetrical position. The difference being I have queen g6, my opponent has a3 played. I think queen g6, I would argue, is more useful in this position. Therefore, it should be okay, if not better. But actually maybe that's not the case. a3 might be more useful in a sense, because now knight b5 is somewhat annoying. Knight b5, I have to play rook f7 maybe. I don't want to play rook c8. Well, I can't. I don't want to play rook, knight e8. Here. Parallel lines. Parallel knight movements. It's an interesting idea. I've never thought about that, looking at when pieces move in parallel across the board. So what might my opponent do now? Knight b5 looks tempting for them, but I play rook f7 and then I'm going to gain tempo with a6. I'll have more tempos than them. They've lost a tempo here with knight a4 to c3. So yeah, that's why I'm essentially up a tempo in a sense. Okay, knight h4. Oh, I intended queen g3, but then that runs into knight f5, and the queen is in trouble. So let's hit e3 another way. Play here to hit e3. At least I'd do this now without losing a tempo. Oh, wait a minute, I have f5 covered. No wonder I wasn't worried about that. But still, hitting e3 that other way might be good. Play here, knight f3, and then I have to move the queen again. So let's do this. At least I don't have to move the queen again immediately. Thought I might have had to, because I thought my opponent had knight f5. But doesn't look like they do. Looks like I have the f5 square covered. And even if they did, I'm not trapped or anything. Oh, offering a queen trade. How boring can you get? Very boring, apparently. Yeah. The problem with this is, can I avoid it? Knight h5. You take, I take. You trade the rooks. Alright. I don't really think this looks that good, but let's see what happens. So here, just in case they take the queen. Thing is, I'm quickly going to run into a situation in which the fact that my opponent played a3 and that I didn't play a6 is going to be important, because they always have looming in the air this move. It's just kind of pathetic, the fact that this knight is dancing back and forth, but it still actually has probably the most active idea in white's position. Although, how dangerous is that really? Knight b5, rook c8, maybe c4, a6, knight c3. Again, the knight dances around for no good reason. Not that white would want to play c4 there, but I'm just trying to make what would look like a constructive move, considering the knight is currently blocking the c-pawn. In that exact position, you wouldn't want to play... I don't think white's ever going to want to play c4 here. Not only will this structure look weird, but then b3 as a whole. So let's see. At least this is maintaining tension, getting my opponent to think a little. Although, I mean, I don't know if you're really thinking about anything consequential. There's no mating attack. There's no major tension. And trade queens, my knight's on g3, big deal. Well, maybe it's a little bit of a deal. Trade queens, trade rooks. Now I'm controlling the f-file. Could be something. Could be something. But then, oh, interesting. What's the idea here? Well, I don't have to do anything about that. In fact, I am going to play rook f. Thing is, my knight and queen look retarded. Alright, I'll play rook f7. Rook f7 guards c7. So that knight b5 just gets hit with a6, and the knight goes back. I mean, he trades. I take. He plays king h2. I have to go back to f6. I don't know where I'm going. I'm trying to play d5. I'm going to d6 to c5. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that rook f7 looks useful, so that I have rook f8. F-file is what it's all about right now. Pre-move the queen trade. He doesn't have to worry about e3 right now. At least it looks like I'm putting a little bit more pressure on him or her than they are on me. So that at least seems good. Okay. Down on the clock slightly, but does not look like a complicated position. Okay. Are we going to see a massive trade on the f-file? Possibly. Okay, now my knight gets sent back. I'm probably going to go back to f3. Yeah, g5 and knight g7 doesn't look good. Fianchettoed knight. Not really helpful. Okay, let's play a6 here myself. A little bit of a waiting move. Now it's very symmetrical. Although I have to say his knight on f3 is slightly better. Now let's see, in a structure like this. Weakness, 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 right? Oh, it's not easy to attack. See, he spends the tempo moving his king back. I could put my knight back here, or I can move my knight here. In which case, he moves his knight somewhere, I move away, and we trade everything on this square. Okay, well, I have to make a move. Where do I want this knight? Not really a good square for it, to be honest. c5 looks somewhat active. I know g3 doesn't really look like it's doing much. Could force a repetition, maybe. Well, you know what? This is keeping him off the f-file. So let's try that. This knight on c3 is not doing anything particularly useful, because he's not getting a knight to a5 anytime soon. So where can I bring that knight? Doesn't look like I can bring it anywhere particularly useful. e5, b6, c5, b7, d7. Could think about this way, here, this way, to this way, to this way. Maybe it's better here, or then I can hop b7, a b6 to a4. That looks like it might be good. And he's now threatening to play d4. Take. If I retreat. He's just in time with that. Could play a5, but then b4. Oh. a7, c8, b6, c8, d6. For d5, I just go to e7 immediately for d5. I don't know if it's that useful. Alright, let's try b8 to d7. I'll give it a shot. He's going to play d4. If he doesn't, I play c5. Oh, okay, so he's going to force my knight back first. Makes sense. Put my knight off sides. This rook on f2 is undefended. Difficult to defend. Even if he plays king h2, it's still undefended, but I have no way of really exploiting that. King g1, I mean. Just know that his knight is pinned right now, since the rook is loose. So, I like the fact that I control the f-file, but my opponent seems like they're going to argue the f-file is not all that important, and they're going to try and open the d-file and claim that the d-file is actually important. So if they play d4, I can play take, knight d7, they push d5, then I push e5. Or I play, okay, so they're going back. Okay, and I don't have knight g3 now, but I have this. And I have knight c5 or knight b6. Again, their knight is pinned. Don't want to have to play knight f6, but I might need to. Knight h f6. Just in order to... I don't know what to do with that knight. It's the knight on the rim is grim. Although actually it's not grim, it's just limited. It's actually just a target for g4. Which, I don't know if it's a weakness or if it just gains space. So I don't really see how to attack him. This is a somewhat closed position, despite the opportunity for pawn breaks. Neither side really wants to initiate the breaks here. Ah, okay. Now, does that mean that I have a target anywhere? I can't go to c5. If I could get to b5, that might be interesting. But, b6 for d5, takes. That might work. Can I go knight g7 to e8? I can. Will it do anything good for me? Probably not. You know what? Let's go g5, because I don't like the idea of g4, knight f6, and then I break this pin. Oh, he's going to probably play b5 now. That would be a good move. Oh, no, it wouldn't be. b5 is not a good move. For the same reasons that I didn't want to play that before. It's not a good move for him to play it now. Okay. Drop my knight back. Guarding e6, which is not important. The idea is knight e8 and then somewhere else. He's defending this so he can play h4. I could play c6. The idea then of playing d5. It's not a bad idea. My king side's defended. Not quite sure if it's good for me in the night ending to be more further, to have more of a presence in the center than my opponent. Okay, interesting. So now take. I trade all the rooks. And or hold on, let's just play d5. take, then e4. Maybe knight e6. Opening up the e6 square for my knight actually would make my play look somewhat logical. You know what? First, I am going to play d5, takes, then e4. That's the problem. Then I play knight b6. Takes, and I'm okay. I think. Yeah. Okay, let's play d5 first. Finally break in the center. Try and actually press for some sort of an advantage. If he takes, I take with the e-pawn. Concedes control of f5, but it gains the e6 square from my knight and tries to gain central control. If he wants to trade rooks, I'll trade rooks. He takes, I take. Takes, I take. Okay, see if he wants to trade again. He probably should. Yeah, okay, I'm one step closer to the center. I like that. Okay, I'm going to take here. Now if you play e4, I do have the option of playing d4 as well, but somehow that looks like it would be not as good. Although I'm not quite sure how he's going to take advantage of that. If I play d4, he moves somewhere. Have these covered. I play knight e6. The idea is then I can hop into f4. That's even better than what I thought. Aha, yes. So he doesn't allow it. Right. Okay, well, let's go knight e6 anyway. King e6 actually would have been interesting. But I already made the move. One idea is to play knight c7, guarding d5, looking at b5, then play king e6. But shifting away from the king side may be a poor decision. It's unclear. Right, takes there. It's logical. Alright, should I trade? I take, he takes, play here. Then you go here, take. Lock everything up. It just looks very drawish. Not sure what else to do. Try and maintain that point, but I'd rather open things up. Oh, I don't have that square, do I? Oops. Oh, I thought he was going to take with the king, that's why. Now I have this square. He comes in here. Okay. Knight f6. Nothing special. Knight g7. Not really interested in that. Knight g5, knight f5, d4, knight take. Then I have the square, in a sense, and then the knight has to move as well. Okay, let's. Gotta play d4 before he plays knight f4. f5. d4 takes, knight e4. I have the e5 square, the d5 square. Okay, this. I don't have the d5 square in that case. This looks like it ought to be good. If you play. Okay, he doesn't play it. Okay, I could take here and then he moves the knight. Or I take here and I'm threatening c2. I'm winning c2 by force. He can win h. No, he doesn't win that square. Actually, I'm holding this now. Yeah, this I think was the right way to go. I mean, he has knight e4, but I don't know what it accomplishes. Well, it gets into d6. That could be bad for me. Knight e4, take on c2, d6, king e6, e6, take on b7, I take on a3, and I'm up a pawn. Oh, he's going to go for this one. Okay, so now I can take here, he takes, I play here, g4, hit him over, and I take, and am I up a pawn? I'm not up a pawn. Not up a pawn, no. Take here, he takes, check, I move, go somewhere else, I take on it, yeah. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna take on c2, he comes here, I attack the knight, knight's gotta move now, again. Now I take on a3, and let's see, can I get to get my knights back over here in time? Knight b5 to here, but then if he takes it on b5, I'm screwed in a way, because then I don't know what I do. Okay, let's go back to c2, threaten this guy. Don't think you can afford to lose that pawn too, because then my a pawn runs, so I just trade everything to win. Okay, go here, no checks. Oh, although then I have to worry about this guy running. But not so much. Okay. So he's got tricks and checks and things now. He's got his checks. I'm just going to run back. All the way back to stop that pawn. I'll take this. Okay. That pawn has better win for him. Had better win for him. Oh, I should just play b5. He has no way of defending this. Damn. He's not interested in that for some reason. Okay, I will play b5 now. Alright, show me what you have. I don't see where your mate is. Or anything. In fact, how do I get here? I'm going to play knight e8. I have a sneaky idea. Okay, he stopped my idea, but that's okay. I'm still going to play knight e8 to come in here. I'm going to try and take that pawn and see if his two knights can hold off my army of pawns. Okay, take it. You take it. Okay. F7 check here. Now, how's the knight going to check me? Doesn't look that easy. Okay, I'm giving that up to win his pawn. Where does his knight go? Yep, okay. This should be an easy win now. I think, well, except considering the time situation. But, barring that, it should be fairly straightforward. Okay, let's just run the pawn. Ah, that was dumb, but this is okay. Ah, that was still dumb. He just takes it. Okay, well, the thing is I actually should not lose because he only has a knight, but I should have won. So that's the shame in all this. Alright, timeout, but it's a draw. Well, good game. Gotta go. That was fun. Thanks for watching. Oh, well, actually, hold on. Let's take a quick look at this. If I had a little bit more time, this endgame should be clearly winning. I'm almost wondering... Let's get the analysis board. Hopefully this shows up correctly. I'm almost winning here. Okay, a5. I'm almost winning. I am winning. So a5 would have been easier than knight d8 check, which is kind of stupid. I'm almost curious. This doesn't throw away the win, so what about knight g5? Oh, this is a draw? Oh, interesting. How does the knight get back in time? F3 to d2. Oh yeah, knight gets back way in time. That would have been nice if that won. But okay, a5 is just clearly winning.